This is the last weekend of January, and finally the sunshine has broken right back out of here. And of course, we got sunset taking place right now. But I hope you guys had a good Friday. Let's talk about what happens next. Just to give you guys a heads up, we're not having our normal 5 News newscast at 4, 5, and 6. We've got golf on right now on CBS. But later tonight at 10, we'll have a full newscast, and we'll talk about all the news updates we've had throughout the day, and of course, take a look at the weather. But we wanted to take a couple moments with you guys and talk about what we're expecting to happen next, what's happening this weekend, and what happens next week. And I think a lot of folks are looking towards next week because we've got a chance to really cool down with a cold front and also to get maybe some wintry weather. Maybe some freezing rain, maybe some snow. We'll have to see. We're going to break things down. As we get things ready for this live broadcast right at the moment, I got to get a couple extra systems going. But you see the temperatures right now. In Northwest Arkansas, we've struggled today. I mean, we've only gotten to the 30s throughout the afternoon. That's because we had clouds pretty much most of the day. We had a harder time breaking those up. Now in the River Valley, you're thinking, what clouds? We had a beautiful day today. I mean, we got to the 40s, sometimes even getting close to 50 degrees or so, but we'll all warm up. We'll all get better sunshine for the rest of the weekend. We've got beautiful weather headed on in, so that's really exciting, especially after it seems like a couple days of some clouds, and we didn't really get much precipitation. A couple folks got a couple flurries, but not too big of a deal. Right now we're in the 30s, Northwest Arkansas, 40 south of the hill. We still have that north wind, so we're a little bit cooler north of the mountains. Not all that cold air is really making its way through the mountains at this time, and we had more sun, so that's why we're a little bit warmer right now in Fort Smith, Van Buren, and in Poto. This is live look in Bacola. We got a beautiful sunset taking place, so you're looking from the Choctaw Casino, looking right towards downtown Fort Smith. You can see for miles. Visibility is great. Low humidity out there in the upper levels of the atmosphere, so you can see way off in the distance. Live look in Bentonville. Beautiful skies now. It was cloudy most of the day, but now we're finally getting that sun. Beautiful evening in Northwest. And this is a live look from Johnson. You see the horizon off there. You're kind of looking towards the Blessings Golf Course. Sun now setting right behind the hillside there. So beautiful weather. Beautiful this weekend. Not so nice as we go towards next week. All right. We're still not sure exactly where the track's going to go. There's still a lot of questions, but as we get closer day by day, there are a few things that we are starting to pick up on. Next week looks like a mess. That's number one. Number two, we've got cold enough air to probably switch rain over to some type of precipitation. Now, how much cold air is coming in? That's a little bit more iffy. If you can get more of the cold air, we can switch completely to snow. When you're kind of in that between phase, we get sometimes a little bit of sleet, a little bit of ice, depending on where the cold air really funnels in at what layer of the atmosphere. But things can get messy across Arkansas and throughout most of the Ozarks. Here's one thing, though, that is interesting. In all the data that's coming in, it does look like the heaviest snow in this storm system will probably not hit Arkansas, but rather parts of Kansas and Missouri and into the Great Lakes. There's probably going to be a heavier band of snow towards our north. The reason why, they'll always be cold enough for this whole system that they don't have to worry about transitioning over from rain over to snow. They'll get snow the whole time. We will start with rain for a couple days, and as temperatures get colder, we'll switch over to some sleet, maybe some freezing rain, and then we could switch over to some snow, but our chances will be limited. But we've got a good chance for some wintry mix headed in next week. That's probably the biggest thing as we're asking, what's next? What can we expect in the next few days as we go from January and into February? But this weekend, soak it in. It's going to be nice. We're expecting 50s area-wide, 50s for Saturday. However, by Sunday, some of us could try to hit the 60s. It's going to be great for Sunday, especially in the River Valley. I think we have a higher chance of hitting those 60s. We'll get close in Northwest Arkansas, and then we switch everything around going into February, especially Wednesday and into Thursday. That's when we're really looking at the chance for some of that wintry weather. So that's February 2nd to 3rd. We've got a lot of folks actually calling into the station and giving us email updates saying, hey, I've got an appointment headed in next week at this time. What's the weather looking like? We'll continue to try to answer those, and when we get closer, we'll have a better idea of what you can expect. But if you are trying to travel anywhere in the central United States, throughout the heartland, middle of next week, it could get tough. Right now and this weekend, it's great. I mean, you can travel just fine across most of the United States, except the Northeast. This cold front that continues to sweep off towards the east, we actually had that pass through a little bit earlier today. That's why we're still kind of on the cool side. Even the River Valley, even with our sun, we didn't get to 50s really today because of that north wind. That cold front's thankful for that. But this cold front is going to continue to press eastbound into the Atlantic. But this low pressure system, as it's hitting some of this warm air and also warm water temperatures. This is the Gulf Stream right here on the Atlantic coast. Warm air right at the bottom of a low pressure system really spins it up. And when you spin up a low pressure system, it makes it stronger. And so we're going to watch this system just kind of blow up the next couple of days. You probably have heard the term in the national news, bomb cyclone, bomb cyclogenesis. That was actually written in a paper 30, 40 years ago and just kind of in the meteorological community. And now it's really latched on into the media. What it really means is just a system that spins up pretty quickly. And we usually get a few every winter. So it's nothing crazy, but it does mean it's a little bit on the stronger side when we're looking at all the storms throughout the winter. So we've got a strong winter storm coming in. A lot of the East Coast is going to be getting maybe 1 to 2, maybe even up to 3 feet of snow this weekend. So if you want snow, you got to go east. Now towards the central United States, high pressure coming in from the west. I mean, you go all the way to the Pacific Ocean towards the coast of California. Lots of sunshine expected, and that sun's going to be coming right here into the Ozarks, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri. Beautiful weather. Those clouds continue to break on apart that we had today and pushing off towards the east. Clear skies coming in from the west. That's going to help temperatures drop tonight, though, and we're going to probably talk about 20s overnight tonight. We have the clear skies, a light north wind, good recipe to try to make it cool. Low 20s in northwest Arkansas, some low to mid 20s in the River Valley. Don't be surprised if we have a couple teens waking up tomorrow morning. It's going to be pretty chilly. But once we get that sun up in the sky and the south wind start to come back, we have a north wind right now, and we'll have a light north wind overnight. But starting tomorrow, that south wind's going to start to come back. In fact, we could have gusts up to 20 to 25 miles per hour. Nothing too crazy, but a nice southerly wind coming in. So that's going to help us get to the 50s Saturday and Sunday. However, south of the mountains, River Valley, so anywhere from Kavanaugh Hill to Mount Magazine, we've got a good chance to hit some 60s for your Sunday. Lots of sun, barely a cloud expected anywhere in Arkansas or Oklahoma this weekend. Great news too, of course, for the CYCLO-CROSS World Championships. They're taking place right now in Fayetteville. Great weather. Folks from all over the world are in town. And we're pretty lucky to be giving them some nice Arkansas weather. If they try to stick around next week, they're going to want to go back home, I bet, because we've got some wintry weather on the way. Let's talk about that wintry weather and a couple updates that we have. Here's next week. So I went ahead and moved Futurecast all the way till Tuesday of next week. That's the first day of February. I've got Arkansas down towards the south, kind of cutting off the map a little bit. I wanted to really follow the low pressure system, so I've kind of centered the map towards the north and west at the start of this Futurecast. This is Tuesday afternoon. Notice in Arkansas, both in northwest Arkansas and the River Valley and in eastern Oklahoma, we'll have those light scattered showers. Just kind of a rainy afternoon expected for your Tuesday. Nothing too crazy in the weather department. But as this cold front comes in, we've got a lot of cold air up towards the northern plains and in Canada. That's all diving south. And throughout the day on Tuesday and into Wednesday, we'll really watch up towards the north that wintry mix take place. But this is still Wednesday. Look at the time. So now we're out of Tuesday, we're into Wednesday. We're still well above freezing, especially in the River Valley. Probably likely to get rain most of your Wednesday. However, the timing of the front's still kind of tricky, and that may, kind of plus or minus a few hours as we get closer to this event. But sometime Wednesday afternoon and evening, this cold front's going to start to slide in from the north and west, helping to drop temperatures quickly. Look at those closely. We'll probably get into some low 30s and upper 20s. The reason why we still got pink on the map, that's really showing you the chance for some sleet and probably some freezing rain. A lot of this cold air will come in right at the surface, so it could snow, and then in the middle layer of the atmosphere, there's some warm pockets of air, and that can melt the snowflakes into raindrops. And then with temperatures up below freezing, here at the ground, of course, where we live, those little raindrops could freeze. So that's one thing we really got to watch with this storm as the cold air starts to come in. This is Wednesday evening. We've got a weather alert for Wednesday because that's when we start to really see that transition from rain over to some types of wintry precip. And eventually we'll get cold enough by late Wednesday night and into Thursday morning now. Now we're at 10 o'clock. Of course, the timing is going to change a little bit, but this is kind of giving us a rough idea of what we can expect. We may switch over to some snow. The farther north and the farther west you live, you'll take that transition faster as that colder air comes in first. And then we'll move that rain snow line eastbound throughout the day on Thursday, but we're wrapping up this system. So we'll have to see how much moisture is left when we finally get cold enough. Right now, there may be at least a little bit to try to get some wintry weather, and then everything sweeps off towards the north, and then we're done. So for this system that actually occurs for 3 days, we only have kind of the back half and really the back third to talk about wintry weather. Let me step off to the side for a second. Huge difference in this 7 day when you kind of split it in half. Left-hand side, got warm weather, mid to upper 50s likely this weekend. You guys are going to have a blast. Whatever your plans are outdoors, they're going to be just fine. It's going to feel a lot warmer than it has been this past week. And then we start February. February technically starts on Tuesday. Monday, we still have the final day of January. It's going to be beautiful. But then Tuesday, a couple of those showers start to come in. And then by the middle of next week, we'll watch those temperatures drop. And then we'll watch the chance from rain changing over to a wintry mix. And eventually in northwest Arkansas, I think we got a good chance for some snow Wednesday night and early Thursday morning. Then we'll wrap things up and clear things out by the end of the week. In the River Valley, it may take us a little bit longer to transition over to any kind of wintry weather. We'll see if we can do it. Still several days out, but lots of sun expected this weekend. We may even hit some 60s by Sunday. And then early next week, still warm, but then day by day, we'll watch those chances to drop our temperatures. On Wednesday, most of the day, we'll probably just have rain. But once the sun sets and we get nightfall and temperatures continue to drop, that's when we'll have our chance to switch over to some wintry weather as well. We'll wrap up some of those snow showers on Thursday. So very busy forecast as we're trying to look into the future. I'm also looking here off the side and see if I can see any questions that you guys may have this evening. Once again, we are not having our normal 5 News newscasts 4, 5, and 6 because we've got golf on right now. CBS Sports taking over. We are going to have our 5 News at 10 take place tonight, normal time. And that's when we'll have all your news and weather updates just like normal. And we'll have our 10-day forecast. We'll take an even closer look at what happens after the cold air. How long does it stay? That's what we'll answer tonight at 10. Now the map behind me, I'm just kind of showing you the upper level wind pattern, the jet stream, because it really indicates what we can expect in terms of how cold the air will be and how far south it will try to come in here as well. So we're going to watch all this cold air that's bottled up in Canada dive south through the provinces and then right into the heartland, into the plains. The coldest air will be just east of the Rockies, and it's really the cold air for Iowa, Minnesota, and the Dakotas. They're not going to get much precip, but they're going to get cold. Now, what happens generally in the atmosphere and in meteorology, when you have a plunge of cold air, you got to look over towards the eastern side of that cold air because that's where we generally see low pressure start to form. So when you look at this jet stream, this is the outer edge of that cold air right here in the central United States. On the eastern side, that's where we've got that low pressure. Now this may meander a little bit, that's for sure. It probably is going to be honest. But where this sets up will show us our best chance for wintry weather. I've drawn in this color. It might be not the best color to choose because we got a lot of other purples and pinks. It kind of all blends together. But you see this purple little polygon I kind of drew, this lopsided ellipse or circle? That's where we have the chance for some types of wintry weather. Probably on the northern end, more snow. Probably on the southern end, more of a sleet or rain. But somewhere here in the Ozarks and the Ouachitas, that's where we're expecting more of that wintry weather. But it centers right over Arkansas and Oklahoma. And to be frank, Missouri too. And so that's where we have our best chance for wintry weather. So we'll have to see. I'm looking at some of your guys' questions this evening. I enjoy not being cold. You're going to like the next couple of days. We've got 50s and 60s. I've got John from Pennsylvania, New York, and Ohio. Here in the next few days, they're going to be getting some snow, especially closer to the coast. Any snow for Mena, we'll have to see. Clarksville as well, we'll have to see. That's going to be Thursday, well, really Wednesday night into Thursday will probably be our best chance to kind of see any type of wintry weather. So things are going to get pretty interesting around here, I think, as we try to get into February. Remember, February is kind of it's a month around here where anything can happen, right? I mean, last year we got hit big time with that deep freeze. In fact, temperatures were colder here in Arkansas and Oklahoma and Texas than they were in the Great Lakes or Northeast or even Northwest, just right in the center of the country. Watch those temperatures drop. Well, this is not going to be one of those outbreaks. We were below freezing in Northwest Arkansas. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, I think it was 9 days straight. In the River Valley, it was 7 days straight. Something like that. I was trying to remember the details. We did our Arctic Arkansas series earlier in the winter when we're trying to look at the whole winter. And so some of those exact stats are in there, so I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. But we hit -20 for the coldest temperature we ever gotten in Northwest Arkansas, and we hit the negative single digits throughout the River Valley, sometimes negative teens. It was cold. Now, this won't be one of those events. This one doesn't have enough cold air for that. It has enough cold air to spin up a low pressure and give us some types of wintry weather next week. But that cold air that sits around for days and days and days is probably not going to happen. This one isn't as strong as last year, but we could be cold for a few days afterwards. I think we'll have some days above freezing. So we'll have to see, but it's a good system headed our way. But hopefully you guys have a little bit better picture of an idea what's happening this weekend and next week. We're going to continue to give you updates through the weekend and into next week on what you can expect as this winter storm is still on the horizon, but it's getting closer. We're starting to see a little bit on how it may interact with Arkansas and Oklahoma by the time we start February. You guys have a great weekend.